Good morning, everyone, and welcome to County Executive Pittman's virtual press conference. This morning, the County Executive will share an announcement on the county's Vision Zero strategy. We'll take questions after the updates. As a reminder, please put your name and media affiliation in the chat, and I'll call on folks for questions in that order. And please keep your microphone and camera off unless you're called upon for a question. With that, Mr. County.
Thanks, Jeff. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. Hope everybody had a relaxing and celebratory 4th of July weekend. I do want to acknowledge that it was a sad and bloody weekend across the country. Particularly, I want to express my sorrow and sadness to the people of Highland Park. I'm a former Chicago resident who lost 6 people, wounded 24 in a horrific shooting during a 4th of July parade. And also to the families of the 2 police officers in the city of Philadelphia who were shot while doing their jobs. I want to mention a couple of events before we get into the Vision Zero topic that are coming up this week in Anne Arundel County. Wednesday evening, 6 o'clock at the Villages at Two Rivers Clubhouse. I will be meeting with a potentially a very large group of residents from Two Rivers, as well as surrounding areas on the Route 3 corridor, Crofton, Odenton, who have been fighting to prevent the opening of something called the Chesapeake Terrace landfill, a rubble landfill that has had applications into the state and the county for decades. And we're going to be talking about the status of that. Unfortunately, the State Department of the Environment has gotten closer to approving this landfill, but Anne Arundel County is in court and is working to try to prevent this from opening and impacting a community with large numbers of trucks and a rubble landfill adjacent to where we're building the West County Elementary School. So we will be giving an update on that and talking about what folks can do in that community. And then the next night on Thursday evening, we're doing the second of our 9 region summits, community summits in our planning regions in the county. These are community meetings where we're talking about primarily education, public safety, environment, and health, asking people how they feel about the work that's going on now, what they'd like to see in the future. So that's at 6 o'clock at Southern Middle School on Thursday, covering the South County part of the county. So I'm going to sign today Executive Order number 58, which is to adopt Vision Zero, a strategy to eliminate death and serious injury caused by crashes on our roadways. And in Anne Arundel County, we have had, during the years of 2016 to 2020, we're actually ranked 3rd in the state for fatalities and 5th for serious injuries on our roads. And that's 234 deaths and 1,311 serious injuries. So in our county, when we are confronting issues of life and death, we tend to bring all of our departments together. And we've done that on the opioid intervention team, gun violence intervention team. You saw it during COVID, and you're seeing it in our implementation of Vision Zero to prevent these deaths and injuries on our highways. So I have with me the team who has been working on the plan and will be continuing to work on the plan. Part of the team. It's led by our Office of Transportation Director, Sam Sneed, who's not with us today, taking some well-deserved few days off. But we have Tanya Osman from the Office of Transportation. We have Nestor Flores from Department of Public Works. From Baltimore Metropolitan Council, we have Cindy Birch and Bala Akundi. And from the City of Annapolis Plan and Zoning, we have Eric Lashinsky. And from State Highways, we have Tim Kearns and Myra Weidman. Thank you all for joining us. You can jump in and correct me if I get any of this wrong, but this is a plan that the state has adopted, and most counties are in the process of moving forward on as well. It covers everything from planning and the engineering that's involved in the planning to make our roads safer, enforcement, which is why we have law enforcement, engagement and education, as well as emergency services. So transportation, public works, plan and zoning, police department, fire department, and emergency management services, as well as our Department of Health, are at the table, and they're working to prevent these deaths. And I have to say that the work that's going on here to make our transportation system safer, our roads particularly, it's consistent with not only our 20-year general development plan, Plan 2040, but also our Move Anne Arundel multimodal transportation plan. And so the work that we do to make our roads safer is also, it requires investment, significant investment, and having this plan will make us eligible for federal and state grants. But it also is consistent with our efforts to have fewer cars on the roads and shift people to other modes of transportation that are safer. So with that, I think we can take questions on any of that. Go back to you, Jeff.
Thank you. And a quick note, we are experiencing some internet issues over here. So if you see our video freeze up, it is not your computer, that's on our end. With that, I'll turn it over to questions.
You know what,
again.
before we take any questions on this executive order, I think I better sign it. We're not giving you input into what it says. We are not taking amendments at this point. I'm going to go ahead and sign it. We can always amend it later. So that's done. And there we go. Executive order 58.
We'll kick it over to questions. Please put your name and media affiliation in the chat if you have a question for the county executive. Once again, name and media affiliation in the chat if you've got any questions. All right, seeing none, we'll see you next week.
Thanks, everybody.